Hello, everyone. Today it's my pleasure to introduce Peggy. She has held key roles at multinational giants like Unilever and Elizabeth Arden, driving growth and leading successful transformation. Now, Peggy is going to tell us about a new course that is about online education and internship. Peggy, I have some questions for you. The first question is that can you share a bit about your journey and experience that led to you establish the company My Ladybird and develop this online business wizardry program?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rohit, for the introduction. I've
Mhm.
spent 10 years in a corporate career. So I had the privilege to experience business from this perspective of an employee.
Okay.
And I always felt a very strong pull into entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Maybe it was based on the fact that I come out of two generations of entrepreneurs on father's and mother's side. So it was
Okay.
basically in my mother milk. But I think it was more that I was convinced that there is enough value to build my own, right? So
Okay.
basically, I built my own, and that's 20 years ago. So 20
Okay.
years ago, I founded my first company, and that's my Ladybird company, which I still have.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
then coming into business wizardry, basically, I'm leading people into magic because by
Mhm.
giving them the tools to manage adversity, because life is full of adversity, and I think that's a big part of business.
Okay. So you work as a mentor, right?
I work as a mentor. Yes, I work as a mentor, but I'm also working on other projects like mergers and acquisition projects, investment banking. So I have multiple business streams I run, but my
Okay.
passion is mentoring business
Mentor.
owners and also people in general. Yes.
Okay, so you told that you love to work with corporates. So how do you envision this program impacting the lives and career of students? Because you told that you love to work with corporates, but this program is all about like courses for students, internship for students. So in what ways do you anticipate it will bring about transformative changes in their lives? I'm talking about the
Yeah.
students.
So I mean, I think at the end of the day, I do mentor obviously individuals, and I mentor corporations, and I mentor individuals in corporations. So I have a three-tier approach, which is
Okay.
never cookie cutter. So it's not a standard template I'm using, because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
person who works with the people who are working with me. Having said that,
Okay.
the great coaches are not simply game changers; they're life changing. But in order to be life changing, it means the people I have in front of me have to be able to expand beyond themselves, right?
Okay. Okay.
And
I
that is
understand.
that expansion, especially for a person as a student, allows people to grow in life. And life always comes with growth. Anything that stops
Mhm.
growing stops living. So
Okay.
I think it's really important that you see that you can only be as big as you permit yourself to be.
Okay, great.
Right.
So
So
could
in
you?
order to
Mhm.
expand, people really have to obviously do their own work as well, but I'm obviously helping to do that.
Yeah, going to
Did you
explain
ask
that.
me
Yes.
about how this will bring a transformative change?
Yes. Yes. In terms of students'
Right.
life, like when they are like suppose I'm studying, if I enroll for this particular online program, how this program is to going to change my life. Because when I'm pursuing my, say for example, I'm in BBA or I'm doing my MBA, next is like my career. So when I'm talking about like what changes this going to create or like in their life, I'm talking about the career prospects. Okay, and some students would like to start their own venture. Like,
Of course.
tell me like how this is going to help them.
I think the biggest part of business is psychology, Rohit. So basically, I think 80%, or I'm convinced, all the time I see that 80% is psychology and only 20% is skill. So while
Okay.
any student is very trained with their left brain, right? So with their logical brain, there's a lot you have to bring to the table. And that's actually the majority of things you have to bring to the table, which is pure psychology.
Yeah, I
say
totally agree with
psychology, I don't mean any woo woo. I mean the way you present yourself. The state you're in determines how you show up, right? So if you're afraid, if you're shy, if this is delivering a much greater message. So just imagine you're a student, you're fresh off university, and you're trying to pitch a presentation, right? You can't go there being all shy and hush, and you have to have a certain, standing a certain hold to your body, a certain way to express yourself, the language, and you have to have major focus. And that will actually do this transformative change. I worked for people or with people to do this transformation.
Great, nice to hear. Now the major question, like here in this program, you are linking online courses with internship. So when it comes to courses, it's clear that students will have some kind of online classes or session. Now tell us more about the internship part. For example, if I'm a student, I enrolled for this Business Wizardry online course, then how you're going to help me in getting the internship, or like how it's going to prepare me for the real world challenges in the business landscape? Because always when it comes to online, it means you are simply interacting over a medium, like over a Zoom call or anything. And how I need to understand about the practical aspects. If I'm enrolling with this particular program, how my practical part is going to enhance? Because online is all about interaction, talking. Just brief me out, like how this is going to help the student in terms of practical part. Like, are they going to do some kind of project?
There's multiple levels. Yes. So I think one is knowledge, and knowledge is not only comprising the psychology and managing your own state. It's also, for me, working with a person to find what is their specialty, what is their point of differentiation. And that's one of the very, very big parts in my program.
Okay.
Online, I help people to find that out.
Okay.
Because any one of us this is why it's called Business Wizardry, right? Every one of us has some magic slumbering in them that needs to be kind of surfacing, right? So in order to really put together an offer, and I mean an offer for an employer, because if you become an employee after your university, you need to sell yourself to an employee, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Or if you start your own venture, you have to start selling yourself to your potential clients. So this is where my training really has a big focus, paired with finances, paired with all the financial toolbox you need, right? Cash flow, etc. That's one of the skills you need in business. Has nothing to do with psychology. The psychology is only the reaction you have to your own finances, right? But that's different psychology. But that's basically where that skill set comes in. When you ask me about the connection between online and internship, that's easy. A lot of the knowledge you can kind of provide over a video, over a webinar, but it stays very theoretical, because the moment you switch off that video camera, it's very theoretical. So you're thrown into the big pond of business and you feel lost. So this is where the internship comes in. You have to make sure that you apply what you learned in the real world. So I create internships generally for people in real case matters. I don't do case studies with them. I do, this is a business, right? This is my business part. Take over that part. Typically what happens is people will do a lot of mistakes, which is normal, right? But this is the way you learn. So it's not a problem. You do trial and error. So I'm following them through that process. And at the end of the day, they will have learned from their failures, but they will also see their own success. I have so far never had neither an intern nor an employee who wasn't able, after, let's say, a short while, 3-4 months, to say, I tried that. In theory, I knew what I was doing, but the outcome was completely, right, beside the point. So, and then on the other hand, I have the same person saying, but I tried this and I had massive success. And the truth is, when you are in a practical surrounding, I don't know what leads to success. I don't put people there where I know they can succeed or fail. I put people in a situation where I don't know the outcome typically. I kind of estimate the outcome.
Okay.
But where I follow them through the outcome, and normally we have a result which is very concrete after already 3 to 6 months, right? You can see it.
Okay.
And I think this kind of connects very nicely the dot between theoretical know-how and practical work.
Got you. Okay. Now the major question, like what sets this business wizardry apart from other online programs? Because these days, like you get free online YouTube videos, everything. Particular in terms of ability to provide students with a competitive edge and enhance their career prospect. You mentioned everything, like the students are going to learn about the real life scenario, they learn from failures. Now coming to like once they enter into the competitive world, how this business wizardry program or the online course is helping them out, because these days competition is the major stress which every students face in their life. Okay, when they enter into job world, there are competitions. Whatever they do, competition is always there. So how this part is going to help them? How
it's
they
very
can be out
interesting,
of that
right?
competition?
Yes, I got totally what you're saying. And actually, this is the easiest question so far,
Mm-hmm.
because this is why I did that program, right? And this is why it's called Business Wizardry. Listen, Rohit, I mean, for me, a student going to university, I went to university myself. We are trained, our brain is trained, but a professor trains us all the same, right? We're trained with the same content, trained with the same quizzes, trained with the same tests. The only individualism, maybe you have to do a work, you have to write a paper, which is a bit individualized. But otherwise, it's, again, as I said before, it's a cookie cutter part. Now, the problem with that approach is, whereas we are very trained and our brain is working in a good way, and we have learned some basic skills, we come out of there. How do I know that I'm different to you, Rohit? How do I know? So people in this journey where they use their left brain to really, get know-how, they lose their specialty. So what is special about me? Because business becomes interesting when you have a person with a university degree, in our case, right? In the case you're making, combined with their own magic potion they bring, as I call it, right? So only the combination between your, what is special about me, Peggy, in the context with my know-how gives me the leading edge. But a lot of students, after they have had training for 4, 6, sometimes 8 years, they're losing themselves in that process, right? Because they have worked from test to test to test to test, but they forget what their true value is. And I tell you, Rohit, to a very specific case, I'm working with a very young engineer who basically, he's fantastic in what he does. But he was at the beginning of our journey, he was not able to tell me or to show me what's special about him. He could tell me, all about his product, but he could not combine his abilities, his internal world with this external know-how. And after 3 months only, I've been mentoring him for 3 months, he has had his first promotion already, right? And because I helped him to sell to his boss, here we go again, right? To sell to his boss, hey, I'm not only your engineer doing this for you, I have this specialty, and this is me, myself, and I bring this to the table. So his value was lifted. And this is what Business Wizardry does. We are all unique in our own account. And to sell our uniqueness is the job which we have in this world.
Okay, nice. The last question for you, Peggy, it's like, what message you would like to convey to students? Like secret mantra or the successful, since you're into this field for last like 20 plus years, what's the secret mantra you want to convey to students? Tell me.
Yes, so I think it's important to there's one mantra I love, and one mantra I give to all my clients, doesn't matter who it is life is generally good, right?
Yes.
So let's not forget life is good. So if you're very externally focused, very focused on the media is not going to give you the impression life is good, but life
Yes.
is good. So that's my mantra. If you call it life, you can call it the universe or the divine. It doesn't matter. It's good. So our job is to show up in that way that life can provide its greatness, right? We have to show up in a way that life provides its greatness. And that's my message to everybody, which basically means also that don't wait for an opportunity, create the opportunity. And that's the message.
Nice.
Right? Don't
because
wait,
these days,
create.
Yes, this is the answer to the first question. The last question I asked, like how students are going to help with when they enter the competitive world. It's like don't wait for the opportunity, create your opportunity. Don't go for the
Create your
opportunity.
opportunity. How do you do that? How do you do that, right? If you do a magna cum laude together with 15 others and you're standing in who are you? What do you bring to the table, which is your specialty, your point of differentiation? Why is it Peggy I need in this job? Why is it Rohit who can build this company? It's not because you did a magna cum laude in university. It's because you were able to combine your degree and your know-how and your knowledge with your identity and your personality and your inner world. So it's basically the connection between the inside and the outside world. And
thank you,
also
Peggy.
You're very welcome. And one more comment in the business world, just one more comment. I think on the part where you have, different players in a room, there's always an element of connection. And that's another thing Business Wizardry or also my leap mentoring programs provide, right? So it's basically a program where you kind of always find a common denominator with your counterpart.
Great. Nice to hear. It was a nice, wonderful interacting with you, and I hope many students will enroll for this program and they'll take the leap when you call it. It's the magic of this business wizardry enters their life and they flourish in their life. I hope this will be a wonderful session for every students out there, and I hope everything goes well. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Peggy. Take care.
Thank you, Rohit.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.